Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, this video is about how I would have designed the next Orbit V8 deck. As you may know, the Orbit playing cards will come out with a new design and a new deck series, basically, of the next Orbit V8 playing cards. It will also be a parallel edition, but I'm very curious what I can create with only a certain amount of time given. Also, to create a deck that looks similar or maybe also recognizable as an Orbit deck, I will take a look at the different designs they have done so far. So like a different edition like this V6 deck. And yeah, so then later on I know what similarities and differences they have to try to stay in the same, basically direction as they might go for. Okay, then let's take a look at their old designs and figure out what differences and similarities they have. Okay, now I just want to quickly talk about the different similarities and differences that the previous Orbit cards have, so that I know what to think about while designing, because I definitely wanted my design later on comes very close to an original Orbit design. So yeah, some points that are very important is definitely the big white circle in the middle. I mean, it's always there, and it's like very iconic. Also, I mean, like every Orbit deck is always space themed, and for this one we know already that the theme of this deck will be Mars. Also, sometimes they have little Easter eggs or gimmicks in there. You can see, for example, one of them in the latest deck. It's the Orbit V7, because it's like a magic gimmick basically. I think the stars, when you count them, they tell you the suit and the number of the card. So maybe I can even include something like this, you know. Also, most of the times they have two different like main colors, one main color and one side color or accent color, and the middle part of the circle is always a solid color, but around it, it's most of the time like, I mean, there's one color that takes the lead basically, but in the middle of the cards there's no detail at all. But besides that, it depends. Like in the beginning, the Orbit decks they didn't have any detail, but later on they got more and more detail. But it depends, I think. So I will try to make it clean, of course, like the design, but I definitely have some ideas. I will show you later, because I have already made a mood board again to gather up ideas and think about stuff that I might want to include. Also, I already know what colors I have to use, because the Orbit deck on Instagram, they've already released or posted a picture of the tuck cases. I mean, I will design my own tuck case for this one. But so I know what their main color will be and what side color they've chosen. And also, this is my mood board, and this mood board basically, just as I said, helps me to gather up ideas and to think about stuff that I want to include. So I will definitely want to include something that really represents Mars. The main color will be orange for sure, and the side color maybe like a matte blue tone. I also want to try to include something about an ancient civilization, maybe, so like a building of any sort. And I think I also want to try to include mountains and cliffs maybe, and those kind of old rockets you see sometimes in cartoons, because I don't know why, but like this really reminds me of space and Mars. And I also really like the idea of having an astronaut with the oxygen cable, or I think it's an oxygen cable or like electronic cable, hanging like till outside the edges of the card, because sometimes the Orbit cards have something going like over the edges, which are really which looks really cool when you fan the cards. And I think this could be a nice thing to include. It's also something different, you know.
Now I can finally start sketching. I have my mood board and my ideas on the right. My sketchbook is right here. And I also have my coffee because coffee is super important to me. But with that being said, let's get right into it and let's see if I can create something that looks at least similar to an orbit design. Perfect, now I'm finished with sketching. I'm pretty happy how it turned out. And what I do next is I bring this sketch here into Illustrator and start vectorizing it to basically make the final design.
Okay, so I started out with pasting all my most important layers into my Illustrator file. Then right after this, I create the white circle in the middle and also added those two white guys. Yeah, then I copied the different colors I was going to use into my color palette, so I can always access them very easily. Then I created the cable for the astronaut and also illustrated the astronaut himself, but I always try to make those guys or like those objects a bit more minimalistic, because later on you won't see any detail or like too much detail on the playing cards itself anyway, so it doesn't really make made much sense to include so much detail. Then I also created this rocket and tried to make a really good beam, and I think this beam looks quite alright actually. I really like the way that it's like going from big to small, and it's also pointing into the same direction as the beginning of the cable itself, so it will also look very good in a fan. I mean, this part here took me a very long time because I tried to figure out how to make a good planet around the white circle in the middle. I also then decided to make those mountains a bit more rounded because I thought those were too pointy. This one took me a long time actually, but the end result of the mountains, I think those were really good actually. Right after this one, I continued with the, I don't know what this is exactly. I mean, personally, I think it looks a little bit like a mixture out of towers, like alien towers or mountain against, I don't know. But I think they look really spacey and fit well into the scene. Yes, I try to add a bit more detail in general in there, but again, not too much detail because, as I said, later on you won't see it anyways. Then I try to play around a bit with different strokes, but I decided not to go with any strokes on the middle part itself. Then I added different meteors, also pointing in the same direction as the cable and the beam. Just a thing to point out real quick. Some planets and stars. I don't know why, but like I love those time lapses. I think they're really satisfying to watch. Yes, again, some more detail I added there. Because I think if like in general like a background really gives it a bit more aesthetic. Right. And then finally, this was my sketch before, and this is the end result. I think it's a huge difference actually, but I really enjoyed it and I think it really turned out great. Even better as I expected. Okay, let's have a look real quick how it turned out and how it looks like. So on the top left corner we have a rocket darting into space, and we also have this little astronaut here who is flying around the atmosphere. Yeah, we have different meteors crashing down into the atmosphere and probably hitting Mars. We have this little city here with only 3 towers and a small way. There are also some clouds passing by and cutting through the top of the towers. And also some communication towers. For sure, the little man in the middle but I've also added my own touch, and yeah, now they have little antennas pointing from their head, because I think this one gives it a more math-themed cartoony vibe.
Okay, now we're almost finished. I just have to take the last picture, and for that I set up my camera right here, and I also have a blank deck because I will edit this shot later on in Photoshop and try to get a final sick looking image at the end.
Okay, right, so in Photoshop, cut myself out, and yeah, then I cleaned up the edges a bit, changed the color of my hoodie. Also, yeah, added a temporary backdrop. Then I also tried to exchange the blank art for the actual back design that I've created. Then I uploaded a real background. I also I opened Illustrator and added a rocket as a new symbol on my hoodie, and also added some smoke. After that, I created a texture for my tuck case. This one looks like this, at least for the texture that works on my card model. And here I also edited some stuff in Lightroom afterwards, some colors. And so yeah, the before looks like this, and the after looks like this. And again, a huge difference, but yeah, I really like it. I hope you liked it too. Also, let me know if I should make a video about anything else. Maybe dive deeper into a specific topic, because at the moment those things are just time lapses where I quickly explain what I did, but most of the time they take a very long time. For example, only the process of vectorizing the whole card took me 2 hours, and it's only the back design without anything else. Yo guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a like. It really helps me out to push this channel to even more people. And yeah, with that being said, thank you and see you next time.